What's up? It is your boy Kevin. I just got back from the casino. It is wicked late today. It's like 2:15 a.m. I really didn't want to go out to eat earlier, so I decided to make some Vietnamese eggs while just kind of getting out a video to share some of these superpower hacks that have really elevated my game. Plus, like, real talk, I was editing a video and I realized like there's no way in hell I'm getting it out by tomorrow. I just thought I'd just do a quick easy video like the old school videos I did back at the JK house, just like cooking and just like talking a little bit. Fun fact, I only use my air fryer and my rice cooker to cook things. Got this recipe from Toy of the Bay. So I'm going to be making Vietnamese eggs. Got my butter, got my eggs, got some Whole Foods cheese, and I got an avocado too. I'm just going to be making it and just sharing some of the knowledge. Some of the cool things I've done in the last few weeks was drop 10 pounds in 10 weeks effortlessly. I got my SaaS running, so I started a software kind of like company almost, white labeling Go High Level for high ticket sales, getting that off the ground, partnering with my friend Mike Kim on that. I launched a YouTube creator mastermind, which was really cool. I doubled my recurring affiliate payouts for one of my affiliates, so I'm doing like anywhere from 800 to 1,000, and that might go up to 2,000 pretty soon per month, just one affiliate. I created a new bunch of low ticket items for my creator business, so like selling my Notion YouTube templates, my sales call reviews. I set up a really cool partnership with a sales startup. I started a partnership with a spiritual offer because I love like spirituality recently, and I have partnership in that. We're doing really well. We're predicted to do at least one sale per day, and when we ramp up marketing, we're going to have multiple sales per day. So right now it's like I'm making personally like maybe $225 to $150 per day on that one offer, and it's purely passive. I just build out the systems using that SaaS that I was talking about. I wrote down I started attracting women in my life again. That didn't pan out. I'll tell you more about that later. And then I fired up this content machine for my YouTube blog and email newsletter. I just feel very good about my content strategy. I'm going to be breaking down books. I'm going to be like doing these full guides that I've been just launching on my YouTube channel, and just doing these like thought essays that no one else is really talking about. Let's turn on this rice cooker. I'll like show you what's going on. I'm not a cooking guru. Tway says I should just throw the eggs in, start mixing. I learned this cool trick where you just bang it on the counter, and it's supposed to make the eggs like crack a lot easier. I'm not a very good cook, by the way. It took me a long time to get here. I've been super happy with my progress. It's been really rough these last few years, honestly, and I feel like everything has been going a lot easier. Most importantly, I've just been feeling very emotionally regulated. I'm gonna wash my hands, it's kind of messy. It was a few months ago where I had this revelation about like, why is everything so up and down? Why do I feel like all over the place emotionally, right? You know, whether it's through the breakup or whether it's like the revenue ups and downs in business. And I just felt so unaligned and so unclear on everything. It wasn't until like I started reading a few books. Again, I've actually always had these books in my library, but some books that really came to mind were The Courage to Be Disliked and The Way of the Superior Man, and listening to a few Alex Hormozy podcasts. And it was really interesting because when I was talking to my buddies, Eugene, I was telling him everything is so hard. And then one of the things that Eugene told me was like, what if we remove the concept of hard, easy? And what if this was just part of doing business? Why do we need to put a subjective label onto things? So then I started going down the Hormozy route, and I realized he had a similar mindset as what Eugene was talking about. I realized like for a lot of my life, I just never really embraced my true masculine energy. Like, of course I did masculine things like jujitsu or working out or like set goals like go to pharmacy school, but I was always raised by strong women, but I never had any strong male role models in my life. And so by having people like Eugene, Hormozy, and reading The Way of the Superior Man, I realized for so long I was not taking time to really set out my mission, my purpose, my vision. It really got me down the rabbit hole of like, what beliefs are really holding me back, and what are some of the things that where I can like reframe these things. I was listening to the Alex Hormozy, Chris Williamson podcast, and one of the hacks that really helped me was focusing on high leverage opportunities. Oftentimes we have this belief that launching a $10 million business versus a $100,000 business is the same amount of work. Everybody has the same amount of time, but a lot of times it's these mind games that are in our head. Maybe it's our beliefs that we grew up like, you're not good enough, especially for Asian families. We have these certain beliefs that hold us back, and we have these certain experiences. Maybe we got burned, or maybe we have like really negative self-talk. And I realized that for myself. And one of the things that Hormozy said was like, am I wasting my 10x skill on 2x games? That one question really reshifted everything for me. Sometimes like we get stuck in these games where there is like benefit, right? Like pharmacy, you get a stable paycheck, you are making money, but I can never explain why I felt so trapped in that world. Now it's time for a next step. Add some fish sauce. Same thing happened with closing too, because I was like spending all my time closing. I was making decent money, but I was feeling so burnt out. And I realized those were like the 2x opportunities in my life. I started thinking about like all these skill sets I learned, like YouTube, learning like CRM systems, copywriting, a bit of design, social dynamics too. I've learned so much over the last few years. I was like, am I maximizing this? And it really didn't hit me until I was helping my friend out with his agency, because we were closing these like $1,000, $2,000 retainers. And I was like, how much can I like personally really make off these retainers? And it was barely anything. And I remember bending over backwards for what, $400 commission per month. And I was like, this is not a good use of my time. And I started thinking about like, what are some higher leverage opportunities? And I found some people who did software. I looked at what was working in my business, and the affiliate offers were doing really well. So I decided to double down on the affiliates, and I set a goal of 30K with just affiliate income alone. I also told myself like I would do a SaaS, software as a service, because they have high profit margins, especially with these like AI and no code. It's pretty easy to set one up. Since I have experience in the high ticket sales world and everybody's asking me for stuff, like that's where that partnership came from. My friend asked me about it. It was so serendipitous. I was like, there is a demand for this. I gotta take this off the heat. Starting to overcook. If you want to see what it looks like, by the way, it's really hot, but this is what it looks like. So I gotta keep on stirring. I hate overdone eggs, by the way. They're the worst. There's another quote that's always in my head: play long-term games with long-term people. That's when I was like, I want to do things like mergers and acquisitions in the future. I wanted to do it back in 2018, but I really didn't have the skills. Let's weigh this out so I can calculate the macros. It never left me. I always wanted to do bigger games, bigger acquisitions, use these skills for like bigger things. Yeah, that's about right. So that's when I decided to start the creator mastermind, just to honestly, for selfish reasons, to honestly level up my skills, just bring people together. So recently I've been like hosting a lot of personal firesides for my friends, and then I set up this paid mastermind who was really inspired by my friends Mike Kim and Vanessa Lau. I'm part of Mike Kim's mastermind, and just seeing the collaborations and being on virtual summits and just the kindness of people, like the go-giving mentality, that has been so pivotal. Like Mike, as soon as I joined, he was like, hey, that Notion template that you sent me, let's sell on my email list. I was like, oh shit, that would be so cool. I have like so many kind people in my life, and I feel so supported. And then when I launched the mastermind, I was just super nervous, not gonna lie. Those butterfly feelings are often a sign of growth, and I've always kind of ran from it in the past, but like because I have so many supportive people, I learned to build a better relationship because of all these people believing in me. That's when I started shooting for bigger things, shooting for bigger goals, rather than just like being a closer, which I'm spending all my time for like small commissions, and it's like a rat race. Like they're low leverage opportunities. It was really scary, but I told myself like a month ago, I was like, I'm gonna say no to all these like low level opportunities. So I left my friend's agency. I dumped all my clients. All I had in mind was just doing the YouTube thing. And I bought Mike's mastermind thing, and It was like really crazy. I wish I had a better plan, but I didn't. And then I bought Dan Koh's program too. I was like, I'll just figure it out along the way, just like how I did with like when I left pharmacy, doing the high ticket sales thing, when I was about to get fired from my high ticket sales gig. That was the path, but it was so crazy. During that same time, I had Ali's team reach out to me, my friend reach out to me to help do his backend systems, and I'm getting more and more inquiries, and like the affiliates started scaling because I started putting my focus there too. Which brings me to the second part. It's one thing to set goals, but it's not enough. Dan Go has a quote where he says like focusing 1 hour on the right thing is better than spending 14 hours on the wrong thing. And I experienced this firsthand. For a long time, I've been doing a lot of things. I was just busy all the time, but I never really had the space to just like really focus and just be very intentional because I was doing too many things at once. And so I bought a focus timer. I just focus on 3 main projects at once: the mastermind, my YouTube, and my only client right now. I might have another client very soon, but that was all I focused on. And with the client, by the way, I was building out the SaaS at the same time because it was very related. But I would just spend my mornings like 1 to 2 hours per day just focused on 1 hour on each. And it would be so crazy about how much I would get done. And so I would just work for the first 3 hours, go for a walk, which helped me like honestly lose weight. And I would just like fast all day. I would just do 1 meal a day, and I would go to jujitsu and all that. It was a really nice lifestyle, and I wasn't working harder, but I was just really focused about what I was doing. By setting those boundaries of like how much I'm going to work, that really helped me out, because I started thinking like, how do I streamline my processes? How do I reduce the friction of everything where I'm not so scattered all the time? I'm working a lot these days, and it's not because like I have to work, but I feel pulled to it. It's so different. It feels really good, honestly. By the way, here's what the eggs look like. Dude, this looks like so unappetizing, but it's so fire. Savory, bunch of umami, great fats, great keto meal. For sure. Honestly, I want to cut up some green onions, so I'm gonna grab some. I'm like so Asian. I keep these green onions like growing in my cup, so I'll just use these. And I just use scissors. I'm a super bachelor, man. Sometimes I just feel super lonely. Like I didn't go out, I didn't see my friends. I made a vow to myself that I wouldn't really leave Vegas this year. I am going to Toronto next month. I'm going to California to my cousin's wedding, but that's really it. I'm staying locked and loaded. It's not too bad, thank God. I thought these were like really mushy, and it was worrying the out of me. So for the most part, I've just been like really locked in. I haven't seen my friends, and it's just been really lonely. But I read this quote. Actually, I heard it from Chris Williams in his podcast. I wrote the quote down. Loneliness is the kind of tax you pay to atone for a certain complexity of mind. Guys, you don't know how much of an extrovert I am. I'm like a 99% extrovert on the Myers-Briggs scale. It goes to show you that purpose, that mission, that drive really can go a long way. I feel like my mind is a lot more clear. I get better ideas because I have more space by myself rather than being diluted with all these other people's opinions sometimes, and sometimes being with friends who don't really serve your goals, which sounds like really selfish, but you know, it's true. Like not all my friends like align with the stuff, or sometimes my friends are like super negative. Dude, look at this, beautiful. I guess this will turn into a mukbang. This is like one of my favorite keto meals, by the way. I just make some cheese, I just throw some avocados, and it's like the perfect meal. You know what I'm missing? One thing, pepper. Beautiful. And probably some Trader Joe like onion powder stuff, the onion salt. But oh yeah, I should probably throw some nutritional yeast in here too. I've heard this stuff is really good for like vitamin B. Yeah, I've just been spending a lot of time by myself, spending a lot of time with my ideas, generating better ideas, and I'm really enjoying it, even as an extrovert. There's still extroverted like qualities, like I love going out to casinos and writing, being out and about, but spending time to really make my ideas better has really helped me just focus in the way in the Superior Man. There is a chapter about like spending time alone and connecting with your purpose, connecting with your core. I could not agree more. that has helped me build this resilience and determination. And ironically, it's been attracting the right friends to me too, especially with the creator mastermind. I've been getting these like really interesting ideas about how the future of it. I'll have another video on that. And then the last thing, man, I think it's really, really important to talk about, but emotional regulation, that has been the superhero power of it all. I always thought like sitting with your emotions, all this woo-woo, you know, it's kind of bullshit, honestly, right? Like, I used to think that, but now I realize like sitting with your emotions, being able to label them, being able to openly talk about them without being reactive and just express how you feel to someone without being attached or trying to manipulate or just fear of like eggshells has been pivotal to me. I don't want to talk too much about it, but like basically the person I was talking to in the last video basically was like, I feel like we're moving too fast. I don't want you to get hurt. You know, at first I felt like very disappointed, very upset, very like, man, I felt like led on and all this sort of stuff. But then I just realized like this skill of emotional regulation, and I realized my feelings, my thoughts, they are not me. And like this happens. And one thing I am proud is like the person I stepped up to be the whole entire time, expressed my like how I felt, expressed like what's gonna go on in the future, and I just keep on going because I realize like it goes back to what I was talking about, playing 10x games. I'm looking for those 10x opportunities, and my journey is not like a lot of other people's. I just take it as the universe, God just guiding me in the right direction. Sometimes it scares the f out of me, thinking that I'm going to die alone and all that, but I really do believe with all the social skills I've been developing and just the business and the opportunities and stuff, I'll just attract the right person in my life, and I'm really just looking for the right partner. I was going to do another video about like some of the lessons I learned, like from the way of Superior Man, choose a woman that chooses you, go by her actions, not what she says. Your purpose must come before your relationship. Those are all key lessons that I'm so grateful for, because when I was going through my kind of like mini breakup before with that girl I was dating a while ago, this is really good. I was so devastated, but to come here now and just be like, you know, it is what it is. What I had planned is not gonna work. I'm a bit hurt, I'm a bit disappointed, but I realize this is temporary, I'll get through it. What do you need, Kevin? Being very compassionate with myself and just also empathizing with the girl. I'm like, hey, I understand, I appreciate you just sharing what you're feeling. I wrote this quote down in my notebook, and it was like, suffering is holding on to illusion of what could have been. And I'd rather have the truth, and I'd rather have this open conversation rather than just holding on to something that was never real, that was never there. And to enter a relationship of resentment, because as soon as it started getting real, I'm glad for me, my secure attachment style, like the thing that I worked so hard for all these years, like came out, and I took the quiz. I'm secure now, which is amazing. Setbacks happen with the business, setbacks happen with everything, and I realized like these external factors have nothing to do with my value or worth, and it's very liberating. If you like this style of video, make sure to subscribe to my email newsletter, refugeehustle.com/join, and subscribe to this channel. It's so nice to just like cook with y'all, talk with y'all, and chop it up with y'all, man. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. Peace, mother people. Bye.